Well, welcome everybody. This is John Paul Mendoza, Dr. Speed Selling. This is the Raging Verbalist number 76. Hard to believe, but 76 of these things. If you read the email, if you looked at the little graphic, you know this is going to be a little bit different one. And but before we go there, just want to remind everybody, if you want to participate, you want to be part of this, leave a nice comment down below. Hit the thumbs up. Subscribe, go to the Facebook page, positiontowinbook.com. Go do that and check it out. But also, you can then connect with the ever lovely Sandra. Sandra, welcome to Raging Verbalist. Thank you for being here.
Hello, thanks for having me. How are you doing today?
Doing great. Just ready for this one. This is an exciting one. So let's hit it right out of the park.
All right, so why did you say 76 Raging Verbalists this week?
So there's a lot of things that go through one's head, or at least through my head, and I don't know what's inside of all of your heads, but, I like to think of it as, you got these, these little guys working the wheels and the pumps, and there's a gorilla running on a treadmill, and there's a motorcycle and a chainsaw and everything. So as soon as I saw that we were going to do number 76, the first thing that happened is that in my head, it said, wait a second. 76 trombones lead the big parade. 76 Raging Verbalists. Imagine that. 76 of us. If we could clone 76 of me, I could maybe even get all the stuff done I got to get done. So I went, that's a great theme. That's a good thing. And it's a good thing so we can talk about all kinds of stuff. And by the way, I'm wearing the glasses that let me see the world even better. Sometimes you got to look through the world with rose-colored glasses, and I'm just telling you, I'm prepared for today. So 76 Raging Verbalists lead the big parade. That's where it came from. That's what we're going to talk about. We'll see if it lives up to the hype. I always like the hype that people have. I have you ever bought one of those things? Well, here's a quick one. My brother and I used to read comic books. I know we don't call them that anymore. They're animation. I don't know, whatever the hell you call them. But in the back, they'd always have these like really cool things to buy. And you'd read these ads and, hey, we didn't want to be ant farmers. We want to be ant ranchers. I mean, we want to go beyond. We're overachievers. And they had this thing that said, have your own 2-man submarine for $6.95 plus shipping and handling. So we begged my father. We said, Dad, we got to get it. Chokes me up just even thinking about it. And he says, are you guys crazy? No, there's no submarine. But anyway, we hounded him. We cajoled him. We bothered him. He said, okay. So we buy the submarine and we're waiting for it. Now we've got visions of what we're going to do. I live in Denver, Colorado. It's a dry state, not from alcohol, but it's a dry state. There's not big bodies of water, but we're thinking, where are we going to put our submarine? Where are we going to get our 2-man? I mean, now we've got friends, so we're going to have to share rides. We got it all figured out. Maybe we'll get a schedule. So the day arrives and the 2-man submarine is there. Now, imagine our surprise when the 2-man submarine is essentially cardboard that is printed gray and it has all these little black dots where there are rivets, and you assemble it and it is a cardboard box that you and your friend, got to be like under 10, can get into and seal yourself up, and you are in the 2-man submarine. And it included instructions on how to make sure that you could make sounds like you were in the submarine, like dive, or, fire the torpedoes, or one of those things. So I just thought, what a great way to kick off today. I mean, and, I'm always wondering, whatever happened to that 2-man submarine? I mean, did my father just put it to the scrap heap or, throw it away? But I don't know what happened, but it just went away and I never saw it again. The things that you lose in life. So there you go. Will this live up to that same hype? Will this just be a 2-man submarine made out of gray cardboard? Will we just be able to send you things that say, other cool things like, and then they even gave you like little sounds you could make, like, stuff like that. I mean, we practice too, still wonder where it ever happened to my two-man submarine. So that's why it's 76 Raging Verbalists. What else do we have, Sandra? Let's get there.
All right. So since some people have asked, how do you pick topics for the Raging Verbalist?
Well, when we started this, many months ago, it was named something else. And just like in Hollywood, if a name doesn't work, throw it away. You get a new name, right? Who would ever, look at John the Duke Wayne and say, he's Marion or something. I mean, doesn't sound like a really tough guy or something, or like Dwayne the Rock. I mean, the Rock, he isn't Dwayne the Pebble, Dwayne the little sliver of quartz or something. Anyway, so what I do is I try to think of things, and we put this along, and I say what would be fun, what would be entertaining, what would be kind of interesting, and then what are some of the things, because I go through life in this journey, and I see lots of things that just are interesting. I see things that are surprising. I've got very eclectic tastes, so I've done a lot of different things. And so I pick topics and I write things down, and slowly but surely they bubble up. I've had people suggest them. By the way, this is a shameless plug. Go to the Facebook page, say, Sandra, hey, what if John would do, what about one of these? What about that? Will the Raging Verbalist put my topic on? And, so pitch us on a topic idea. I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe I would say yes, maybe I would say no, but so I pick it just like that. And like today, it's that earworm in your head of, the Music Man, 76 trombones. And as soon as I saw it, bang, But by the way, if you ever want to learn how to improve your memory and your creativeness, is if you can associate disassociated facts and items, and you can bring them together, it does apparently stretch your brain. Now, I don't know if that's like silly putty or if it's like, inside your little brain is firing, but it helps out a lot. So I pick them everywhere. I'm always looking for stuff. And Raging Verbalist is the one avenue where I take and have fun doing some of these things, because I have some serious topic stuff that I do every week. So this is the fun channel. Hopefully you're having fun. Are we having fun yet? I hope so. All right. What is next?
All right. So what do you hope people get out of Raging Verbalist?
And these are my little, John Lennon little blue funky glasses here. So yeah, I by the way, I got these just, I was at an event and they handed these out so we could all wear these because it was like a, psychedelic theme. So here's what I hope people get out of Raging Verbalist. First off, I hope it makes you think. Hopes it makes you say, wait a second. I hope it makes you react and say, okay, what lessons can I learn? Astonishing to me how many people they kind of stumble through life without ever observing anything around them. And by doing that, I think they really cheat themselves. Life is all about experiences. And most of the time, people are just sitting there, kind of, forget about introverts. I mean, we have to come up with a new expression. It's like, you're so concentrated on watching your phone or doing whatever you have to do. And I understand being busier than shit, but you got to actually experience. So I hope what people get is a sense that, there's a lot of life out there to live. And hopefully, when you spend a little bit of time with myself and with Sandra, that you actually get some things that you didn't normally get and get some experiences. And then, like I said, I travel now all kinds of different places because now, I've had my liberation day, and away we go. So I hope you get is a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of insight, a little bit of knowledge, and more importantly, like if I figure out a tip or a comment or something, it's going to help you out. And in fact, every one of these, like when we talked about cables and connectors and all of that. By the way, having done that episode, let me get off on this rant for a second. Talk about, well, let me get serious. I got to take these off because I'm too mellow with these on. Let me tell you what happened to me. So you see this? This is a Fitbit. So I wear a Fitbit because I want to see how many steps, and I want it to tell me how I sleep, and I want it to tell me that I should eat some more, vegetables and all that other stuff. Anyway, the reason why I wear a Fitbit is because, well, the Apple Watch punked out on me. So if you want, I can show you the punked out Apple Watch, because the Apple Watch punked out on me because I had first generation. So it's great because I go into the Apple store and it doesn't synchronize properly. And the guy says, well, you might need to buy a newer generation. Wow, that'd be like owning a car and say, geez, it doesn't drive anymore. And the guy goes, yeah, that is kind of annoying. Why don't you buy a new car? Because we don't know what to do to fix your thing that you spent a bunch of money on. Anyway, I get the Fitbit. Now, the Fitbit is less annoying, and less capable. I'm going to say that now. I mean, it's got a screen that's like, reminds me of, we're going back to, old handheld little Nintendos or something. Anyway, so I get on this trip, the last trip I took, I'm out on my road trip. So I'm out for 9 days and I realize that I had forgotten my cable because this requires a special Fitbit only cable. So I go, okay, that sucks. I mean, because here, I mean, how embarrassing? Not really embarrassing. I mean, I lose shit all the time. Stuff, I mean, that's called life. If you don't have crap falling off of your wagon as you're pulling it through life, if that stuff bothers you, I don't know, just quit pulling the wagon. So I realize I don't have the damn Fitbit charger. I know it's not going to make it all the way through. So what do? Well, I can call up and I have an assistant and she can like put it in an envelope and mail it to me, FedEx it to me. I have had that happen a lot. But no, we live in an Amazon world. See, I go to Fitbit and see what it's going to take to buy it from Fitbit. And Fitbit basically says it's going to be a couple weeks before they're going to ship it to me. Watch isn't going to be alive in 2 weeks. I mean, it'll be just sitting there and it'll just be a hunk of plastic on my arm. So I end up buying not one, but two of these connectors, these really funny little charger connectors, and ended up buying them. And then Amazon shipped them to a locker at a 7-Eleven, which when Gabe and I were in Dallas, we went to the wrong 7-Eleven, had to go to the other 7-Eleven, always an interesting thing. And I picked it up and there you go. So those are the kinds of things that I share with you. So here's what I'm going to say. Oftentimes we end up buying more of this stuff just because we've lost it and it goes away. So that is a little tidbit. And here's something else. So you say, what I hope people learn? Well, one of the things I hope that they learn, one of the things I hope they get out of this thing is that they think about it and say, you know what? I'm sitting there. I need something to read. What should I read? What indeedy duty should you be reading? And I can tell you what to do with that. And I can solve that as soon as I find this, which is, well, come on. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Give it to me. There we go. Which is, how about one of these two books? One is Most Businesses Fail. Most businesses fail in the first 5 minutes. It just takes them 3 to 5 years to realize it. Position to Win. Available Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. Also available in every kind of ebook imaginable, including Apple. And the other book is Remote Work for a Better World. And that's only available on Amazon. And that's how you use something like Zoom, and you will get more out of it. You can also go to positiontowinbook.com, 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 and order it directly there. If you do that, I will sign it for you. If you want me to put an inscription on it, I will do that and check it out. So that's what I hope you get out of it. All right, Sandra, what's next? What else do we have on our?
All right. So is there anything that gets kind of left on the cutting room floor, like a quip, a story, or a comment of an outrage that you can share?
So, and we're talking comet like streaking through the sky. So I get back from this long trip, right? And it's been a long trip. It was Denver and New York and Dallas. It was lots of days, lots of things. I'm out of traveling shape. I mean, there really is such a thing as being, in traveling shape. And I get to Ontario Airport. And of course, I had found out that Uber and Ontario Airport are battling. Now, all I can say to the folks who run Ontario, figure out how to get Uber there because we have people who show up. But I get there and Lyft tells me that there's a driver only 8 minutes away if I pick Lyft. So I click this thing and several minutes go by and I notice that the little app is telling me, it's okay. We are looking for a driver for you. Now, understand, this isn't going to be a long-term relationship. I mean, this is going to be just drive me to my house. and it timed out in 15 minutes and said, sorry, no drivers available. Check again later. Have a nice day. Now, I've been in Vegas enough times to know that that means like when the slot machine tells you play again, have a nice day, it's not really sincere. So I have to go down and now what am I going to do? Now I guess I could walk the, 18 miles, probably not. I guess I could hitchhike. When was the last time people were hitchhiking, especially with luggage? Or I could take an older form of transport. And no, I'm not talking about a rickshaw. I'm talking about a cab. Well, I haven't been in a cab in years. See, I'm actually one of those people who adapts to technology. And guess what? Ta-da! I have to go take a cab. And I walk up to the guy and I said, hey, I need to take a cab. And he says, okay. And I said, how much is it going to cost me to get to my house? Because, see, that's the beauty of Uber and Lyft is that there's no surprises. There's no, oh, it's going to cost just about $20 and then it's $100 cab ride. So he said it was going to be 45. It was actually $55. And, that is over. I mean, for those of you who don't know how to do the math, 55 is bigger than 45. I mean, I'll go through it again slowly. Bigger number. But this guy, it's interesting because totally different experience than Uber. And all I can say is, can we just figure out how to get along? So that's one that got left on the cutting room floor. Talk about irritation and being pissed off. Oh, wait, here's another Uber story. Ready? Here's another Uber story. In Denver Airport, DIA, which they put way out in the hell in the middle of the boonies. I mean, if I stand at the right place and wave, I think Sandra in Omaha can see me. That's how far out this thing is. I mean, it's close. And I'm sitting there and it says, great, we'll get you from Denver International Airport back to your appointment and all of that. Now, it appears that the people who run the airport authority there, I don't know if it's an authority, but it's a pain in the ass. And what do they say? Oh, well, we're charging a fee to all of you visitors, and instead of them being banditos, they just embed it in there, and it was $145 to take this trip. Not cool. So what I figured out, because remember, every time you make the trap a little better, we've all heard the build a better mousetrap and the world will beat a path to your door. You never hear that the mice are going to beat a quicker path to your trap. So what did I do? I said, wait a second. I am not going to be defeated by this. I'm the guy who says one is none. Actually, I swiped that from a good friend of mine who probably took it from somebody else. And I'm not talking about like intellectually on their dead cold body. But what I said is the hell with that. So what I ended up doing is taking the train, or light rail or whatever the hell you call it. And that cost me $10.50. And it got me closer to where I'm at. Again, not hitchhiking, not walking, I do that. And then I got an Uber that only cost me $30. So for all of you who are keeping track of this, 30 and 10 is 40. Just thought we'd go through that. Today you're being, we're doing just like Sesame Street, we're bringing that kind of stuff up. So yes, that is one of those things where I defeated. So that was on the cutting room floor. And those are two things. So if you're ever going to go to Denver, here's how you beat the system and stick it to these guys is always take the train in and hopefully they don't raise it. I mean, it's actually, honestly, I got to give you the right number. It's $10.50, but took the train in and then I Ubered the rest of the way. Eventually we'll be, to rickshaws and, mopeds and all this other stuff. So that's one that I left on the cutting room floor. And I'll give you one final one, which is, I'm sitting there. This is years ago. And I'm in Little Rock, Arkansas. I know combat pay should be available or something. I mean, now for all, if you're in Little Rock and you're irritated that I've said this, I'm sorry. The airport was really questionable. And we're sitting there at the airport, and a giant thunderstorm, lightning everywhere, breaks out. And we're getting ready to board. And I notice that the flight attendants and the pilots are getting off of the plane. See, never a good idea. You may want to write this down. And they're getting off of the plane. And I said, and I walk up because the gate agent is like locking the door, putting the big, just like a vault, locking it. And the guy, I walk up to the pilot and I said, well, guys, I don't mean to be interrupting you, but where the hell are you going? The guy goes, yeah, the airport just got shut down because of a lightning storm. We're not leaving until tomorrow. Now, I'm wondering why the gate agent hasn't said anything. But as soon as these guys said that, I said, where do you guys go and stay? And they, because, it's not like they have a bunkhouse, at the airport. And he goes, well, there's a Holiday Inn Express. So immediately I get on the phone and book a room at the Holiday Inn Express. And here's why, because they're going to send over for the 2 pilots and the 3 flight attendants. They're going to send over the bus. I know that's like a bad, foreign language reference there. And I'm on that. And as I'm walking down the concourse, the guy at the gate agent says, well, by order of the FAA, the entire airport is shut down. Please join us tomorrow morning to fly out. And thank you very much. And he takes the mic, and I notice he takes the microphone with him as if somebody's going to steal this microphone. But everything in the airport shut down instantaneously. I mean, this was like some kind of zombie horror movie. Boom, 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 boom. Everything shuts down. So I had a good night's sleep, by the way. I get there. There were 50 people who, because of course it's an act of God, who thought somebody was going to pay for their hotel room, slept in that airport. And all I can tell you is it was one nasty flight, because those people did not take a shower, and nor did they eat, because when we left, we were like the first flight out. None of the food stuff had opened up. And those were the days where Southwest would give you a bag of peanuts, and they acquiesced through deep negotiation and gave everybody an extra bag of peanuts. Now, I was sitting next to this woman and her son, and this kid was like, for those of you who don't know what a Jabberwocky is, I mean, this guy was going to start eating the tray or something. So I gave him my 2 extra bags of peanuts and settled him down. Today you wouldn't have a bag of peanuts because we all have a peanut allergy, and you don't have that. So those are 3 stories that were on the cutting room floor, and those are fun travel facts, or crap. All right. So what is that? What is the next one, Sandra? What do we have?
Right. So what have you learned from doing Raging Verbalist?
So what have I learned from doing the Raging Verbalist? It's almost like, is there an echo in this? Am I saying that out loud? So here's what I've learned by doing 76 of these things. First off, it's great to have Sandra on the calls, because obviously since if you're watching this, which is YouTube or Facebook, obviously I have a mirror, so I'm not trying to fool myself here on this thing. But what I've learned is that it takes effort and work to do it. I like doing them, and I think the biggest thing I've learned is how to shift gears, because when I get into a mode, like when I'm doing my Speed Start Monday, which Speed Start Monday, if you don't know what that is a sales meeting that I do every Monday at 7 a.m. Pacific time. And I have clients who are all over the world who join live. There is no pitching. And I spend an hour talking about a specific topic that has to do with the area of selling, which is my home turf. That is all content. That is very intense and all content. It is not broken up, and away we go. On the other side, every Wednesday we have a Gabe Batista, my co-conspirator, business partner, and co-author. We do it's called Turnaround Engine Network, and we do a training every Wednesday, or as we call them, Tensdays, Cinco de Tensday. So anyway, We so but that is content, and it's very much driven by that. So this is where it's a little more fun, a little more lighthearted. And of course, to that end, I can wear different glasses. So this is my steampunk, so I can really look like cool. I mean, it's really kind of like a combination of Ray-Bans and steampunk and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of a fun thing. And then of course these things have this, and I bought them from Amazon. It was like really cool. And I don't know what I ever typed in, but then I started getting all this steampunk stuff, and then it also started giving me some like goth stuff, so I could get black nail polish and stuff. Which yeah, all I can tell you is that I'm just waiting for the Amazon guy to arrive, because I think that. So next live event, Sandra, we'll just I'll do them up in black nail polish. That really scares some people. And then of course these are really cool, because like the reason why I really thought these were cool is before I got LASIK eye surgery is that I couldn't wear like the flip up sunglasses. So when I was a kid playing baseball, you'd always see the guys who were playing out in the outfield or something, and they'd have these, and then they would just flip their sunglasses up and then catch the ball. Well, these became like the old guy glasses too, where you walk in and you're like, there you go. And then you go all the way up there. And that looks really stylish, doesn't it? There you go. Walking in, complaining about the blue plate special. What do you mean you're not going to start serving until 4 o'clock? Come on. Are you kidding me? 4 o'clock. So it's 3:55. I mean, how hard is it to get a BLT in this place? So that's some of the stuff I've learned, is that and having fun. And yes, we've gotten some pretty cool comments. So Sandra, wrap it up. Give me the last one for this, and hopefully all of you have had fun. Leave a comment. Say something nice. Say something kooky. Go on the Facebook page and say, hey, John, cover this other stuff. I've got an opinion about a lot of different things. So there you go. All right. What is it? What is that last thing for the 76 Raging Verbalists? What do we got?
All right. So since you tell lots of stories, ideas, some rants sprinkled in there, how does someone capture all of these and pull them together?
So one of the things that I think is really important about whatever you do, and you're going to communicate, because that's what this life is all about, communicating, is that what you should really think a lot about is how to capture stories. And most of the time, people are sleepwalking through life, and they're not capturing stories. They're not doing these other things. And let's face it, we're not just living in the matrix. We're living in the real world. And what you need to do is you need to say, okay, when something happens to me, capture the essence of the story. So I have a really inexpensive way for you all to do this. And no, you don't even have to buy an app, and you don't ever have to worry about the batteries running out. And that is, I use these things called 3x5 cards. And Sandra, who has traveled with me, knows I have lots of 3x5 cards, because see, then I can write down an idea. So when you do that, you always have at the ready, because see, if you want to see me reboot my 3x5 card, there, I rebooted it. You want me to see it again? There, I rebooted it. It's really that easy. So my suggestion is that you go get yourself a bunch of 3x5 cards, probably cost you $3-4. Go get yourself this thing called a pen, and just start using it and writing things down. It'll also give you a better connection to the story. So as an example, like some of these stories that you've heard were 3x5 cards that I wrote many years ago over time. But what I've done is I've collected them. Now, what do I do with all these 3x5 cards? Because by the way, I have lots of them. Is that we have been digitizing them over time, and we put them into Evernote. And then that way I can go find them and look them up. So that is a very important thing that you can do, is to capture them. And when you capture them, what you really want to do is if you want to get better at telling stories, there's really 3 simple steps. Number 1 is capture the essence of the story. Number 2 is say, what is the lesson, or what is that streamlined piece of it? And number 3, what is the punch? What is the conclusion? What is the end that makes everybody go, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'd like to hear more about it. If you do that, what you'll discover is that you too can write stories. You can grab these things, and more importantly, you'll be more interesting. And now I'm going to give you a couple things never to do. Here's what you never need to do. Maybe that's bad English. Here's what you should never do. is number one is backtrack, right? So when you start saying, sorry, well, it was April. No, it was May. Wait a second. What was it? And doing all that drives people crazy. They don't want to hear the rest of the story. They're just hoping that the story ends mercilessly quickly. Second, so no backtracking. Next thing is that all extraneous details have to go away. If they don't help drive the story forward, cut them out. When in doubt, cut it out. Hemingway said, writing isn't writing, it's rewriting, it's editing, it's nailing it down. And the final thing that you should not do is trip right over the laugh line, the punch line. If you say something that is funny, that is a turn of phrase that gets people laughing, gets people joking and going, ha, 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 let that go. See, oftentimes people just run right over that. And I guess my bonus one is that don't be a story topper. So when they tell a story, you go, wait a second, I got a better story than you do. Not a way to get people to be really excited. Well, hopefully what you've done is you've gotten something out of the 76 Raging Verbalists today. Hopefully you've had a little bit of fun. I know I have. Hopefully Sandra has. We won't put her on the spot because she's like, well, I'm being held, in an undisclosed location and she is in a sequestered state. So hopefully you got something out of this. And I just want to remind each and every one of you to go out and do something really cool today. Also do something nice today. And if you do nice things and cool things, you know what? I think you're going to have a better life. Life is all about experiences. The Raging Verbalist is all about my experiences and sharing them with you. Hopefully you've enjoyed them and you have learned a thing or two along the way. So this is John Paul Mendoza, Dr. Speed Selling. For Sandra and myself, Raging Verbalist is now a wrap.